If you've ever said to yourself that you're stuck and that you can't seem to break the cycle, you keep self-sabotaging, we're going to try to reframe how you're looking at the effort that you're putting in. Because oftentimes, whenever we're saying this, I find it to be a lie. Because if you were not breaking your cycle or you weren't trying to get better, you wouldn't even have an awareness of this. So the fact that you know that you are trying to make changes, but you might slip up a bit here and there, that is still a really good progression that you are going on the right path. Because some people don't even have an awareness, don't even care about their goals, or they say it and then they completely forget about what they want to achieve and then maybe think about it again 6 months. But if you're maybe feeling a bit up and down some days and then you are on track for a few days and then you're a bit up and down again, but then you're back on track, you're actually still making progress. And we need to, one, acknowledge that, celebrate it, and we're going to put a percentage number on it to make you feel even more aware of how you can stay on track and feel better about it. So what I'm gonna get you to do is grab your phone and we're going to just get the calculator out. And I want you to think about how many times maybe you go for a walk, or maybe that you exercise a week, or whatever it is. And then I'm going to get you to divide that by 30 days in a month. So say, for example, you are walking 3 days a week. That means that I would basically take 12, because 3 times a week times 4 is 12, and divided that by 30. That means 40% of the month you are doing something that is active. Now, you might at first think, oh, 40%, that's pretty low. But if you stop and think about that, were you even doing walks? Were you doing exercises or whatever it is that you wanted to calculate? Were you even doing that before? So technically, if you were at 0 or 1% or whatever it was a few months ago, and now you're at 40%, that is huge. Stop and think about that. 40% is huge growth, okay? So now say, okay, if I'm at 40% now and I'm maintaining this, and this is actually feeling pretty easy, what if I just did an extra day a week of going for a walk as an example? So 4 times 4 is 16. I have to think about that for a second. So divided by 30, that is 53%. Woo! That is pretty great. Another woo! So reframing how you look at things is pretty awesome. So say, for example, most of your meals you have not felt on track, but every morning that you have breakfast, your breakfast is on point. 1 meal a day, 7 meals out of maybe 21 meals that are great a week. If you have 3 meals a day times 7, yeah, okay, let's just say that math is correct. And then now that you see it like that, you might start thinking, okay, maybe I can do 14 of my 21 meals for the week on point. Do the math again. The percentages just keep getting better. And sometimes when we start to look at these numbers, it can be really motivating. Even if you aren't a number person, just a small percentage change in something is like pretty good. And the even better news about this is that you don't need to reach 100% to reach your goal. Nobody is perfect, okay? And I don't want you to be perfect. We all need to enjoy our chocolate or ice cream or whatever it is that we want to have from time to time. Or maybe even just a lazy day and not move your body. But if we are getting closer to, that 70, 80% as a guide, or maybe even like 60%, that is a lot. And that is often enough to make a very noticeable change in how your body feels, functions, looks. So I always say minimum effective dosage. So if you're doing 0 and you jump it up to 30%, you're gonna have a good change. And then from there, if that's giving you a great amount, or maybe you're already at 30% and you jump it up to 40 to 50%, that might be enough to work for you. But you won't know what percentage you need to put yourself or put your effort in until you give it a try. So have a bit of fun with this. I would love to hear what you calculate, whether you want to guide or calculate your food tracking, like not in terms of like tracking, like recording all your meals, but in terms of like, was I on point? How many meals of the month I was on point for, or of the week? Or how many days in the week did I exercise? And then when you start to look at that, it's kind of nice. It's a nice little performance review. And you can check yourself out and be like, I was on top of it. Or if you weren't on top of it, you could be like, well, clearly the stats were there. I wasn't on top, but you know what? Next week I will be. So I hope this helps you reframe how you're seeing the picture and know that you are breaking the cycle, you are getting better, you are improving your lifestyle, and the more that you just take time to reflect on this, it's going to be easier for you to make a further change because it's those positive reflections that just keep you going.